Have you ever tried to Google something you don't understand, but then the whole results page is a bunch of words you also don't understand? Do you start Googling some of those new words, and then 40 minutes later, you're halfway down a Disney princess glossary, Google Maps opened, zoomed all the way into the Canary Islands. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Welcome to Hideo Kojima's marketing strategy for the last 20 years. So, since Metal Gear Solid 2, Hideo Kojima has been heavily involved in the pre-release of these titles, from editing his own trailers, to weird Twitter imagery, to this interview.
What happened to your face? Are you okay?
Yes, I had a little accident, but I should be good by GDC.
We gotta remember as well, Metal Gear Solid 2 is one of, if not the biggest switcheroo in video games, swapping out the protagonist and not even getting to play as Solid Snake. Remember, your family don't love you, but Solid Snake does. The months and years leading up to a Hideo Kojima title, for some people, is a part of the core game itself. The slightest shred of information on new titles to some of the most hardcore fans is considered spoiler enough. Kojima drip feeds us nonsense for years, like the little crack lab rats we are, and we drink it up like Christmas wine. We also cannot go on without acknowledging his creepy, Simpsons-esque accuracy of predicting the future.
But in the current digitized world, trivial information is accumulating every second, preserved in all its triteness, never fading, always accessible. All this junk data, preserved in an unfiltered state, growing at an alarming rate.
What we propose to do is not to control content, but to create context.
The digital society furthers human flaws and selectively rewards development of convenient half-truths.
Okay, so this brings us to the wacky, wild adventures of Norman Reedus and his little bean sprout BB pod. Death Stranding takes place in mid-global annihilation United Cities of America, where a cataclysmic event has ravaged the world, driving humans underground and apart from each other, putting the onus of essential life goods and services in the hands of delivery men, or porters. Due to the threats of the outside world, BTs, BBs, BBCs, DVDs, whatever, people live isolated lives in shelters connected only by these trusted delivery men, like our protagonist, Sam Porter Bridges.
Once there was an explosion, a bang which gave birth to time and space. Once there was an explosion, a bang which set a planet spinning in that space. Once there was an explosion, a bang which gave rise to life as we know it. And then came the next explosion.
Heavy pulse, bloody eyes, sweaty clothes, the routine. Then I've learned to understand and know, play my tricks, fragile mind, risk your head.
An unknown event has bridged the world of the living and the dead, and only few dare traverse outside due to its risks. In some cases, being born and living their entire lives in underground shelters, people have adopted a life of little or no human contact at all.
3 years we've been waiting for help. 3 years. And they sent us one guy who's... Shit.
People regularly now supplement oxytocin as a replacement for the chemicals the human brain needs. Chemicals typically released during childbirth, human contact, and physical affection. Yes, the sex. Most people that do meet in the world communicate via holograms, not actually in person.
It's so hard to form connections when you can't shake hands.
Because of this contactless, sometimes solitary life, connection is more paramount than ever in the world of Death Stranding. And it's why porters are so important. Connecting the cities of America together, keeping people in touch, ensuring supplies remain available. In other words, porters keep the entire world connected. Can you imagine your life this year, during the most intense periods of lockdown and quarantine, if you also couldn't have anything delivered to your house? How does that year look?
America. Reconstructionism. Her dream isn't dead.
I don't want to hear it. So you're serious then about reconnecting everyone and everything?
Please, Sam.
We need you.
As a player in the world of Death Stranding, other porters can leave strands, or structures, behind for each other to make their journeys a little bit less painful. Considering how treacherous the landscape is, these ladders, ropes, and bridges built by other players can be a lifeline to others. However, there's no way to interact at all. You'll never see another player, you'll be able to communicate with them. Simply, all that can be done is leaving a like on a structure that helped you out. But why?
そういう、ちょっと、行き過ぎてる今のオンラインの中傷とか暴力を、一歩というか間接的に意図的につなぎ直すことでその辺のちょっと今失われているであろうその思いやりみたいなものを体感してもらうでそれが嫌だっていう人はまずいないと思います世界中に。トランプが壁を作ってます。で EU からイギリスが抜けようとしています。でこのゲームはつないでいくので橋を架けていくんですよね。
In a world ravaged by anonymous forums, cancel culture, harassment, and bullying, it is important to revisit why connection is so important to us, especially during a time where so many are feeling cut off, isolated, alone, or lacking connection. Life is easier when we're connected to others. Think about those that helped you get by this year. They didn't have to, they probably weren't obligated to, but they did it anyway. Why? Okay, let's talk about BTs for a second. BTs, or beach things, are souls stuck in the land of the living. They're generally considered hostile, probably the biggest threat you're going to encounter in the game, but they're not inherently evil. They're just looking for a connection. Note the grabbing hands, their obsession with touch. Remember, BTs used to be people too. Loved ones, colleagues, friends. Death in this game plays as a counterpart to connection. If consumed by a BT, made entirely of antimatter, its merging with something of this world, the world of the living, creates a void out. An explosive annihilation event leaving behind craters big enough to wipe out full cities.
How long since he flatlined?
We don't know the exact TOD, but I'd say it's been upwards of 40 hours.
He wasn't quarantined?
Not sick. This is a suicide.
Oh, Jesus.
We're just lucky we found him at all. Got him on ice ASAP, but who knows when he'll go necro.
Well, he's already in the first stages of necrosis. If we don't hurry, this place is a crater.
One could say void out craters symbolize the hole that we leave behind after death. Kojima developed the Strand system in order for people to relearn how to be kind to each other. And is that not just so fitting right now? 2020 and coronavirus is something none of us have ever experienced. Hopefully never will again. The phrase new normal is commonplace now when talking about the future. But let's take a moment to reflect on the parts of life that we don't want to bring with us to that new world. What did Death Stranding teach us in 2019 that we can adopt today? These are reminders that just because we're not surrounded by others right now, that we can't talk or touch, doesn't mean that people aren't there, or that they don't care. Seeing left behind from other players, those life-saving ropes atop a mountain, or a ladder across a river, think about how you connect. If you could only connect in a positive way, what would you say? Lastly, we all need each other. There's much more than just delivery people that kept us connected this year. Healthcare and essential workers, alongside your delivery men, continue to go on thankless as this year bounds on. Humans need to connect. It is as strong as our need for food and water. That much is written in our DNA. The internet has given us a connected world online 24 hours a day, but leaves most of us feeling more alone and more hollow than ever before. Reach out to your loved ones. Reconnect with old friends. Pay forward a coffee and tip your delivery guy. Whatever it is, think about the impact of connection you could have on people you do and don't know. Think about what you can leave behind. The climb up 2020's mountain has been rough for most of us. What can you leave behind to make it easier for someone else?
That's what we need right now. Not to stand apart, but to come together. To form chiral knots and reconnect.